Lisa Story Corner. Python.docs, Beulah's Grave, by Lisa Arnu Brown. It was the year of our Lord 1784. The sun was hotter than usual when Beulah passed. I was 10 years old. We was allowed to attend her funeral, and it wasn't the fancy affairs the masters have for their families. We had our own burial grounds just for us slaves. Jeremiah dug the grave himself, and we dressed Beulah as nice as you please. We hurried to sing and say a few words before Jeremiah put her in the ground. We didn't have refreshments either, on account that we had to get back to work. It was cotton picking time, and Master was serious about that. Beulah was betrothed to Jeremiah, and he planned to jump the broom with her. We was happy for them, even though we all knew that Master allowed it, 'cause he wouldn't have to buy slaves when he could have them born. Miss Sarah planned to cook a right proper meal for the reception too. We was gonna have food we didn't normally get. A week before the wedding, Beulah started acting strange. When Jeremiah asked what was wrong, she just shook her head. Beulah was a joyful girl with a head full of plaited hair. Even in her patched-up dress she was pleasant to look at, and Jeremiah was smitten. 2 days before the wedding, we was all getting ready. It was a big deal for us, 'cause we ain't never had a wedding before. Miss Millie and her family moved in with us so's Jeremiah and Beulah could have a proper wedding night. 2 hours before the wedding, Mama set out to help get Beulah ready. Us kids helped decorate, and we was excited. When we heard the screams, we knew something awful had happened. The men ran to Miss Millie's house, and what they found was too horrible to speak of, but I'll tell you anyway. Miss Beulah hung herself. Nobody knew why she'd done it. Mama and the other women wailed so loud, Master came out to see. He didn't do nothing. He told us to bury her and get on with picking cotton. The master's missus didn't even come out to see. A couple nights later, I was heading back from running an errand for Mama. She'd sent me to bring Jeremiah her calming brew, 'cause he was beside hisself with grief. Anyway, I was walking past the big house when I heard Master and his missus hollering, "I'm glad she's gone. I couldn't bear to see that abomination be born in my home." "How could you do such a thing?" she yelled. "I was drunk. I wasn't in my right mind. Besides, you ain't giving me any children. Who's going to inherit all this when I'm gone?" He snarled. "You must be drunk now if you think I'd allow that thing to inherit," she shot back. They was saying some awful things to each other, and after a while, I hurried back so's Mama wouldn't tan my hide. Later that night, I pondered on the conversation I'd overheard. What did the missus mean by an abomination being born in her home? I didn't want to ask Mama, but I could ask old Luke. He and I talk about almost everything. Most of the others don't pay him no never mind, but I like to talk with him. Mama says he's a voodoo man, but I ain't never seen him do it. He smokes and mumbles a lot is all. When we buried Beulah, he played his drums and said his sayings. Nobody paid him any attention. I sat beside old Luke under the big tree behind the well and let him finish his pipe before I said my piece. Old Luke didn't smoke regular tobacco. He smokes herbs he grows out back behind his hut. "You got something on your mind, Missy?" he asked me. "I overheard the master and his missus hollering at each other last night. She said she was glad Beulah was gone. She said she didn't want an abomination to be born in her home." "Luke, what do you think she meant by that?" I asked. "That what she said?" asked old Luke. "Uh-huh. She said she didn't want the thing to inherit," I replied. "Missy, don't you go repeating what you heard. It'll make Jeremiah hurt real bad. Don't you say another thing about this, you hear me?" I nodded and crossed my heart. "No, sir, I won't. But you didn't tell me what Mrs. meant." Old Luke banged his pipe against the base of the tree we was leaning on and packed it up for another go. I knew better than to say anything else, so I left and went back home. A few days later, old Luke took to playing his drums out by the cemetery. He did that for 3 days, then stopped. When he played his drums, Mama would start singing hymns and shut the door. She made us kids stay inside too. I asked why we couldn't go outside, and she just sang louder. The disturbances began shortly after Luke stopped playing his drums. Jeremiah took to drinking more of Mama's calming brew on account he was having nightmares. Most of us don't dare go out at night no more. Mama says there's something bad in the air. Master and his missus holler at each other regular now. Miss Millie told Mama that Master was disturbed. He keeps saying Beulah visits him at night. If you ask me, I think Master is losing his mind. Beulah is dead and buried. I watched Jeremiah put her in the ground with my own eyes. She can't be visiting nobody. I heard Mama and the other women talking about what's going on in the big house. They said old Luke put a hex on Master. I don't know what a hex is, but it must be bad to make you see the dead. I knew Master had taken a turn for the worst when the doctor came to see him. He hardly comes out the big house no more. The overseers took over, and they mean and quick with the whip. I keep busy and stay as far away from them as I can. One rainy night we could hear Mrs. screaming. Mama and the other grown folks went to see. Master was in a bad way. No one could hold him, and finally they let him run out into the rain. He ran all the way to the cemetery and started scratching at Beulah's grave, screaming he was sorry. The overseers tried to pull him away, but he fought them. Jeremiah came too, and when he saw Master digging at Beulah's grave, he ran and pushed him away. I hear the baby! I hear the baby! Master screamed. Jeremiah started screaming too, and he began to beat on Master. One overseer took Jeremiah away, and another took Master back to the big house. We didn't see Jeremiah again, on account he was sold. After a while, Master got better. Old Luke visited the cemetery again and began to play his drums. Mama sang loudly, and me, I just waited to see what else would happen.